This is Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST.
So Alfie and I were talking during the break, and Alfie says, hey, the featured artist this week is going to be REO Speedwagon. And I say, okay. That's sissy music.
No, come on.
Actually, I have already been to sleep twice.
No, come on.
Since we started the segment, I've already been to sleep twice.
I'm telling you.
Don't look at me. I don't get involved in the married couple squad.
Well, Alfie and I are not married couple. Now, the voice you just heard is Jim Beck. Nobody's supposed to know he's actually here in the studio with us, but he is. Jim, do you agree, though, that REO Speedwagon, that's a little soft, right?
I'd like to plead the fifth.
I'd just like to plead the fifth, exactly.
I'll pick some more up-tempo stuff. That's one of my favorite REO Speedwagon songs.
It is? I'm sorry, Alfie's turning red. Alfie's like mad. I was like, dang, I thought it was a great song, and now everybody's making fun of me.
Well, I spent the whole weekend listening to some REO Speedwagon, so it got me all fired
You were with
up.
your wife.
Yes.
She can listen to sissy songs.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
She told me to put on my headphones and just... She don't want to hear it either. She was too busy.
If you've just tuned in, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate right here on Talk Radio 640 WGST. I'm joined in the studio by my man Alfie, as always, and we're also joined by Jim Beck, who is the General Manager of Operations at the Georgia Underwriting Association, a position he's held since the early January of 2012. His background includes work as an independent insurance agent, as well as serving for 12 years as a government relations director for a big insurance company. He also served, and I thought this was interesting, as the deputy insurance commissioner for his home state of Georgia, and also the chief of staff for the current insurance commissioner, Ralph Hudgens, who may or may not be our next insurance commissioner. I don't know if he plans to run.
So far, he says he is.
He says he is going to run. Oh, well, I hadn't even heard about that.
We're watching it closely.
Well, Jim, welcome to the show. In full disclosure, I have to disclose that you are a client of mine. We helped Georgia Underwriting Association buy some property in the last couple of years, and I had no idea what the Georgia Underwriting Association was, how it works, what its purpose is. So I'm going to open it up, and then I want you to give some details. If a big insurance company like State Farm or whoever wants to sell certain insurance in the state of Georgia, they have to be a member of the Georgia Underwriting Association.
That's right. They're actually one of our owners. All of the insurance companies in Georgia that provide property and casualty insurance, depending on how big of the market they command. So, for example, State Farm is about 23% of the market, which means that at any given year, they have 23% of our voting stock. We're a limited partnership formed by the insurance companies under the auspices of the legislature, working with the insurance commissioner to provide coverage for people who can't get it in the voluntary market.
So somebody goes to Nationwide. Nationwide says, based on your claim history or credit or whatever it could be, I don't know what it is, condition of your roof, we can't write insurance for you, then they send them to you.
That's right. As a matter of fact, any agent in Georgia that receives a license from the commissioner is automatically appointed to write insurance with Georgia Underwriting Association. So, for example, a Nationwide has captive arrangements, which means that their insurance agents can only place business with Nationwide. The exception is Georgia Underwriting. So if you have a home that's an older home, maybe you took back over your grandmother's house, she passed away, and come to you and you want to do some rehab work on it, maybe flip it later on, then that's what we're there for, to provide you especially coverage on homes that are older or for whatever reason you can't find coverage in the voluntary market.
And so regardless of the situation, you will provide insurance for that home. Now, it might be at a cost that's higher than the market cost.
Well, it should be.
Okay.
Yeah, because our goal is not to compete with the voluntary market. Our goal is to complement the market. So we're a safety valve. If you just can't get it anywhere else, we want to insure you while you rehab the property, while you get it up to or improve your credit or improve your condition of your property so that you can then go back into the voluntary market.
Let me ask you a question. How, if they do come to you and it's going to be obviously, as Cleve said, a little bit more expensive, what percentage more would they be paying going through you?
We try to be about 10% higher than the market. And that's
which is good because it's not double.
Yeah, we don't double it, but we try to be 10% higher than the market. The one thing we'll occasionally turn homes down if they're just in deplorable condition, because part of our mission, as established by the legislature, is to insure homes that are that promote minimum safety standards. So, for example, believe it or not, I had a home come to me as a submission. It was built out of tires. car tire.
I'm not sure I would want to insure that home myself.
Well, we didn't either.
Was it a NASCAR driver?
It could have been. I should have
Just
thought
so
that.
you know, Jim, he hosts the NASCAR show on
Well,
640
there you go.
I can only imagine like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Tony Stewart living in a home made of tires.
Well, I got to tell you, it was dug into the side of a hill, a beautiful part of Georgia, but it dug into the side of the hill. The back side was tires, the front side was dirt, and or I should say, back side was dirt, and they had put concrete in between the tires. But we for some reason we didn't choose to insure that property. So.
And that's interesting because I'm sure it didn't have a mortgage either, so they were
did not
probably
have
just
a
looking
mortgage.
for some insurance. So if somebody has the need to get insurance through the Georgia Underwriting Association, they don't need to call the Georgia Underwriting Association to find out. They need to call their local preferred insurance agent.
Call the local agent. Any agent can take care of that.
And then they see if they can get insurance through that company,
Right.
whatever it is, Liberty Mutual, whatever.
Sure.
And then if that insurance company cannot write it, they will then give the referral to come to the Georgia Underwriting Association.
Absolutely right. And you know, Cleve, one of the things I appreciate the most about your show and about what you do, and obviously we have a relationship outside this segment, but I can tell you is that I'm a big believer in real estate as a way to acquire wealth.
You are.
You know, I am blessed. My wife and I have some rental property that we take care of, and so we've accumulated a little bit over the years, primarily through real estate investment, and it's a wonderful tool. Insurance is one of those weird businesses that very little can be done in the economy without insurance. You can't open a restaurant without insurance. You can't drive a car without insurance. You can't borrow money in most cases without insurance. And so insurance is such a vital part of everything we do. It's kind of a nerdy subject. I'm a little bit of an insurance nerd. I've been involved in the industry since I was 18 years old.
You love it.
I love the business because we help put people back on their feet when there's a disaster. We help them prepare their family for that if it should come their way.
So I've used this as an example. And Alpha, you'll remember, if you've just joined us, you're listening to the Call Cleve Atlanta Real Estate Show on Talk Radio 640 WGST. I'm joined in the studio by my man Alfie, who is my technical producer and is always by my side, and also Jim Beck, who is the general manager of operations at the Georgia Underwriting Association, which is an association of insurance companies in the state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
And it's where you go to get insurance if nobody else will write insurance for you. Now,
we're like the food pantry.
one of the things, that's right. Well, you're a food pantry, but you already know who's going to pay for the food.
But that's true.
Because in this case, the state
Not
law
free.
says that the insurance companies have to be a member, and if that association runs a loss, the insurance companies have to make up the difference.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, historically, our organization, we have about 30,000 policyholders across Georgia. We insure very nice homes on the coast of Georgia that can't get insurance because of hurricanes.
Sure, makes sense.
We insure a lot of older homes, a lot of the homes in the inner city, DeKalb County, Clayton County, a lot of those metro Atlanta counties we insure. And 30,000 policyholders, about $24 million in revenue. And historically, we've lost about $4 million a year. Thankfully, knock on wood, with the help of our current commissioner, we've turned that around, and we're now making a little bit of money. It's important that we make a little bit of money because if you think about it, if we're constantly losing money, then people will never leave.
You're
us.
underpricing the policies.
We're underpricing the policy.
And you say, with help of your current insurance commissioner, I have no idea whether he did it or not. I know you and I have had some conversations offline, and I think you had a lot to do with it too.
You're very kind.
I think you.
I've got a lot of good folks behind me.
I think the thought process was it's okay to run that association at a loss, and I think your thought process was if we don't run it at a little bit of a profit, it doesn't make sense for the Georgia economy.
Yeah, I got to tell you,
make any sense.
Not to get into politics, but I am not a big fan of Obamacare.
Okay.
I don't believe government should be subsidizing and picking winners and losers in the marketplace. I think our job is to help people to bridge till they make their own decisions and move towards their own independence, whether that be buying insurance or providing health coverage for their family.
Insurance is a great opportunity. If you want to buy a house, you can go to your local lender and say, I want to buy a house, and I'd like you to loan me to $200,000 and charge me maybe 3.5% interest and give me 30 years to pay it back. Trust me, you can't buy anything else like that in the United States. And then you can go to your local insurance agent and say, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to give you $1,200 or $1,300 a year, and if my house burns down or something like that, I'd like you to fully replace my house. It is an amazing proposition when you think about it.
And it breaks your heart when people go bare. I mean, we do have families that sometimes forced place coverage is very expensive. The mortgage company is going to protect themselves.
Yes.
So if you let your insurance lapse, don't think you're just avoiding the cost. The mortgage company is going to place that insurance with their own insurer and going to send you the bill or take it out of whatever equity you might accumulate.
Going to add it right to your outstanding balance at closing. Outstanding balance at closing. There are so many things that go on from a government standpoint behind the scenes that make all of these things work on the surface. And, Jim, I thought you would be an interesting guest to let everybody out there know that you have something like the Georgia Underwriting Association association that makes insurance possible for everybody in
Thank
Georgia.
you, buddy. Visit our website, GeorgiaUnderwriting.com. You can find all you ever wanted to know about it, but we're afraid to ask.
I love it. And if you've just joined us, Jim Beck with the Georgia Underwriting Association has been our guest. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to answer a question about a $1,500 mistake in a seller's disclosure regarding the Homeowners Association and what I think the seller should do to move forward with their closing. Stick with us because we'll be right back.